little disclaimer here, by the way. When I recorded this video, basically it's me and the old man talking about Dinamo Zagreb game and the fantastic win in Europe. When we were recording it, the audio cut out just on me, not on him, 3 times for 15 seconds. So if you hear my audio jump a little bit and I don't make a lot of sense, well, I always jump a little bit and I often don't make a lot of sense, you'll understand why. But hey ho, listen, that's 45 seconds less of me talking, which has got to be a good... Actually, it's not really, is it? Because I've had to do this intro. You've probably got more of me talking. Anyway, the old man makes an awful lot of sense, which is strange for him, to be honest with you. So here he is. We're discussing the European game. Tomorrow, myself and him will be back in a video that actually did work with the audio and the sound recording, where we're going to be discussing Manchester United. Not much of Cristiano Ronaldo, to be fair. We've spoken about him more than enough, and certainly our chances in the Man United game. Anyway, enjoy, hopefully, what we had to say about the European game. Back by popular demand. I say popular. One bloke a month or two ago said, "Where's your old man?" Basically, so if that's about the strength of it, really. We thought we'd get him on to bore you silly, quite frankly. But we thought we'd do him a favour. He's got not many friends, doesn't speak to a lot of people, but he's very old, so he understands. He probably remembers the last time West Ham had a particularly good European performance. It's Gonzo, very senior. You all right, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. A lot better after last night.
Yeah, well, 2 nights ago. By the time this video goes out.
Yeah, 2 nights ago.
Thursday night he's talking about.
But it seems only like yesterday.
It certainly does. What impressed you most about the performance?
I think we were just in control. It was the game management. Everybody knew what they were doing. One of the things that's impressed me immensely lately is how much Antonio has changed. Antonio was always a headless chicken. He was always exhausted by the sort of halfway through the second half because he was chasing, every single ball. Now he doesn't chase everything, but he knows when to chase. And, a prime example was him chasing for that first goal yesterday. Took it absolutely superbly, but there's other elements of his game that he's now brought into. The dummy he did for the Fredericks move was sensational, and I think Moyes and the rest of the back team, I'm sure it's not just Moyes, have told Antonio, you're up there, use all your skills and try and take chances and make things happen. And he really does seem to be thinking at a different level to what he was thinking at a year or 2 years ago.
I think what you're seeing with Antonio is somebody who wants to get better, desperate to learn. And I think he's probably more aware of Father Time than anybody else. So he's probably looking at his career thinking, I've got 3 or 4 years here. What's the best I can do? What's the best I can get out to it? I'm sure... It depends how he uses it to drive him. I was going to say, I'm sure he has some regrets that he didn't start earlier, but there's nothing he can do about it now. So it's really more a case of what do you do with the time that you do have? And I look at him now, I get the impression of somebody that is constantly working on his game. And he's put it aside, the fact of his age. He's thinking, you know what, I am going to improve on it. And that dummy, I do think, was pivotal because it showed an in-game intelligence. It showed awareness as well. And... it's exactly the opposite of what you said, which is chasing down the ball all the time, which, of course, is very good. And it's it's a very endearing quality to see any footballers that want to work hard, but it also sort of demonstrates the need to be involved and to touch the ball all the time and to try and constantly have your fingerprints over every move, whereas there's a subtlety to the dummy that is, okay, right, I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to get involved here, but I'm going to use my... I can use myself as a decoy rather than being the main man. Do you think we'd have won that game without Antonio, though?
Yeah, I do. To me, Moyes would have just come up with a different system. Souček and Rice in particular were completely bossing the midfield. how often did we look in trouble in that game? Probably once, twice, maybe. Did they have a shot on target? I'm not sure they did. Think about it. The first 10, 15 minutes, we must have had 5, 6 corners.
Yeah.
We were putting them under relentless pressure, and they didn't seem to know how to cope with it. And it was due to our pressing, but we weren't pressing silly. We weren't pressing the minute they released the ball. That sort of becomes easy. We were doing sort of a 2/3 press or maybe a halfway press where we'd let them bring it out a little way, and then we'd really go after them, and it just worked so well.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. And I thought the midfield was completely dominant. And you talk about the control, and you could also call it game management, which allowed us two things that really struck me. The first was it was so good that it allowed us to not have to play 100%. You talk about Antonio not running around closing down. Actually, we were able to actually manage our way through that, and which I think is really going to lead on magnificently well, not just to playing like the double header against Man United, but also if we're going to be able to manage our own fitness exertions, our own physical exertion in individual games, then that's going to have a knock-on effect to the other games that are coming up. If you can get through a game and run at sort of 90% or whatever, the distance you'd normally cover, then that's going to really massively aid your recovery. The other thing that I thought about it was actually from a tactical point of view, and I looked at it because I said, I can't even remember in one of the videos, we had to look in the terms of control of a European team, not like some of the Italians, how they used to play and they used to control a game. But we still managed to keep our identity and have the attacking thrust and the sort of ability to attack quickly that Premier League teams have as their hallmark, really.
Well, the other pleasing thing was that we brought in 4 or 5 new players effectively. They all slotted in. They all seemed to want to play. I mean, I thought apart from the silly foul that wasn't given by Lanzini, I thought up to that point, I thought Lanzini had played really well. Yeah. Fredericks did very well going forward in terms of attacking the ball. He made a couple of really good saves defensively. Unfortunately, he's never going to be able to do anything about his distribution, because if he hasn't sorted that out by the time he's 28 or 29 or whatever he is now, that's not going to change. But and again, Diop seemed to do very well with Zuma. He had a good understanding with him. He didn't overplay, but him and Zuma looked very, very comfortable, and the whole back 4 unit looked like they've been playing together for some time instead of it was their first time ever together. So that's got to be. It's got a big feather in the cap of Moyes and the rest of the team that you've got these players coming in and they're all wanting to win a place. They all look like they feel there's something to play for. Whereas if you think back to last season, Anderson would be coming on and he'd be lethargic and, he wouldn't be adding anything to the game. He wouldn't be contributing. And again, when Masuaku came on at the end, he was the same. So, no, I was really pleased with the whole team, and I think Moyes takes a lot of credit for that. But also the rest of the back team, they seem to be enthusing all of the players, and I think if players aren't enthused, they probably will drop down the pecking order very quickly and just won't be involved.
Do you think that, bearing in mind that was the seeded team in the group, they were the team to look out for? I take it now, maybe an obvious answer, that you're hopeful for this European campaign that we can get to the knockout stage quite comfortably.
Based on last night's performance, absolutely. Obviously, it needs Moyes to continue to play a team of similar strength to last night in the remaining games. But I don't see anything to fear. I mean, going into that game, I don't know what the odds were, but I would guess that probably we were on about a par maybe with Dinamo Zagreb. based on European experience, they should have been way ahead of us. I mean, they had quite a successful campaign last year. They were knocked out by the eventual winners in the quarterfinal or semi-final. I can't remember which. And they were all experienced playing together, and they were used to winning. I mean, that team hardly ever loses, never loses in Croatia. And last year in the European competitions, the only team they lost to literally were the eventual winners. So, but we made them look very ordinary.
Yeah, we did. It was. I was going to say it was. I keep saying swashbuckling. It wasn't particularly swashbuckling. It was just, as you say, calm. It was controlled, and it was a measured performance. We got out of there without incident, without injury, and as I say, we've probably a lot left in the tank in terms of the players' energy reserve. Certainly, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be looking ahead to the Manchester United game, possibly discussing Zuma and Vlasic, and we'll get your opinions on their fledgling West Ham careers during that. Thank you once again, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. What would be absolutely fantastic is if you would be able to like and share this video on your various social media platforms. Thank you very much.